Welcome to Stock Knowledge and News with Arieous Invest, your trusted source for updates, earnings reports, and actionable insights to sharpen your stock market game. Join us as we explore market trends, decode the latest news, and empower your financial journey with expert stock knowledge. This is Trading Reimagined. Let's get started.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at kind of a potentially big development with NVIDIA.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Big tech giant.
huge tech giant, and we have just a tiny little news snippet. But it's one of those things that, you throw a pebble in a pond,
Right.
and it creates a whole bunch of ripples.
Yeah.
This could be a big ripple situation.
Right. Let's dive in.
So the first thing is that NVIDIA's stock price dipped a bit.
Okay.
2.55% to end the day at 138.81.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the real story.
Oh.
The real story is why it dipped.
I'm intrigued now. Tell me more.
So
2.5%, that's,
yeah,
not a huge move in the tech world.
for a day-to-day basis.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and so
Actually,
this is tied to news that China is launching an antitrust probe into NVIDIA.
okay, so antitrust, I mean, that sounds like China's concerned that NVIDIA might have a little too much power. Too much power. Yeah, so they're looking into whether NVIDIA is engaging in practices that stifle competition.
Okay.
So things like, unfairly undercutting prices or making it difficult for other companies to kind of get into the market,
Right.
that kind of thing.
So are there any specific examples of things that they might be looking at, or is it just like a general, we're going to look into all your stuff kind of thing?
Yeah, so from what we're seeing is it looks like the Chinese regulators are kind of honing in on this practice of bundling.
Bundling.
Which is, where they offer
Okay.
these really deep discounts on GPUs, but only to companies that
Yeah.
are also going to sign up for their data center services.
I see. So it's like if you want the good deal on the GPUs, you got to use our data centers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I can see how that would be. Maybe a way to kind of like box out the competition a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a way to, control the whole market.
Yeah, control the entire AI infrastructure. If you have the chips and you have the data centers and you're only giving the good deals to the people that use both, that's a lot of power.
Yeah, and, NVIDIA has been really aggressively pushing their data center and AI chips in China.
They have a pretty big presence there, don't they?
Huge. And they actually hold a dominant share of that market right now.
Okay.
So this probe could seriously disrupt.
I mean, yeah, China is an enormous market for any tech company.
Yeah.
I can't really afford to get on China's bad side if you're in the tech industry these days.
Right.
So, yeah, this could potentially really derail some of their plans.
Yeah, and, give their competitors like Intel and AMD an edge. If NVIDIA's kind of, having to deal with this, then that gives them an opportunity
Yeah.
to step in.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of why we saw that stock reaction, a little dip.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just investors being a little bit nervous, I think. Whenever you see the word antitrust pop up, that's going to make some investors sweat a little bit.
Right.
Because who knows what's going to happen?
It's uncertainty.
What are they going to impose fines? Are they going to
Right.
force NVIDIA to sell off parts of its business? Who knows?
Yeah. Are they going to have to change their business practices? I mean, it's
really up in the air right now.
we don't really know what's going to happen. It's just beginning.
And this is, I think, something that we're seeing more and more these days. Governments getting a lot more involved in regulating big tech,
Yeah.
which, there's pluses and minuses to that.
Right.
On the one hand, you don't want these companies to get too powerful and,
Crunch competition.
stifle competition. But on the other hand, you also want to allow for innovation. You don't want to
Right.
snuff that out by,
Yeah.
over-regulating.
Yeah.
It's a tricky balance.
Yeah. So for anybody who's, invested in tech or just kind of fascinated by how all this stuff is playing out.
Yeah, the global implications of tech
Yeah.
and geopolitics.
Geopolitics. It's a big deal. This is a big deal.
Yeah, NVIDIA is kind of a bellwether here.
Yeah. If something happens with them, it could have major ramifications throughout the industry.
For the entire sector, yeah. So
Keep an eye on it.
keep an eye on this one.
Definitely a story that's developing.
I think the thing that is, at the heart of this is what are the long-term effects for AI?
That's the big question.
Because China cracks down on NVIDIA and, that really changes the landscape of who's providing the chips, who's providing the data centers for AI development in China. I mean, that could have major implications.
It's going to change the entire landscape of AI development, which is already such a rapidly changing landscape.
Moving so fast.
Yeah.
And now you're going to throw this, geopolitical wrench into it.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen?
It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah. So stay tuned. We'll keep you updated
Keep you informed.
as this develops.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Arieous Invest. Trading reimagined.